Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our daily gratitude call. Thank you for being on our call today. Thanks to all of those who are here live. We have quite a few people here on the call live. And of course, I always want to express gratitude for those who are listening on the podcast too, and encourage you to come and be on the call live if at all possible. I know 7 a.m. Mountain Time doesn't work for every single person, and I'm grateful that we have the podcast. And I also just really want to welcome everyone, encourage everybody to try this out as a live experience, because it's really cool what we get to discover every day, and you being part of that discovery process and helping us to create it. The subject that we're going to focus on today, a lot of things were mentioned as we were just kind of getting warmed up and doing a few rounds of gratitude with those who are on the call live. A lot of things were mentioned about Jesus Christ, Christ's atonement, and the way back, improvement, all good things coming from Jesus Christ, and several things that felt like kind of what the atonement affords us of, like I said, the way back, new beginnings, new opportunities, improvement, seasons of growth, a new day. Just really felt like kind of a renewal. And actually, I think somebody even said renewal. So reset. So that's another one. And the words, the way, were really the words that stood out to me. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I had something a little more specific, but those words, the way, I feel like are even more powerful than clarifying that further. So we're just going to go with that. And I'm going to set a timer for 90 seconds. We're going to have a private silent meditation on gratitude for the way, and we'll see what comes up. So just grab your paper and pen, write down all the inspired thoughts that are coming to you during this 90 seconds on gratitude for the way. Begin. All right. The first thought that came to me is actually something that I have on my vision board right now. I am the way to Jesus Christ, who is the only way to immortality and eternal life. And I feel like if there's one thing that I can do, if there's something that I can do to help people get just one step closer to Jesus Christ, then I've done my part. He's the Savior. He's the light. He's the way. and my example might help someone find him. And I'm just really grateful to be I'm a student myself of Jesus Christ. And if my example can be something that would inspire another person to come to Jesus Christ, then that is just a joyful thought. Who else has something they would like to share?
Hello, this is Gary.
So Gary and then Tyree.
A thing that came to my mind is forgiveness of self. And the thing that kept that, because sometimes people can't forgive you for your past mistakes, but you got to forgive yourself and move on. Got to control. You got to focus on what you control. But the three words that came up to my mind is drop it, leave it, and let it go. I just kept flashing in my mind. Drop the pain, leave it alone, let it go, and bury it. And that's what, stop reinforcing it. So that's what came into my mind. So.
Well, beautiful. I love that 3-step process. Drop it. I mean, I'm just like envisioning myself walking along my path and dropping it, stepping over it and continue forward, and then just continue forward. Let it go. Let it stay there. Let Jesus pick it up. Thank you. Love that. Tyree.
Have you ever seen that video where there's a child and they're drawing, and I can't remember if the parent who is an artist starts while I think they let them finish, and then the parent turns their small child's piece of art into this beautiful masterpiece. I don't know if any of you have ever seen that. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful concept. And I was just thinking that, even through all of my mistakes and sins and weaknesses, Jesus Christ, he can make up the difference so that it's perfect. And it's just like that parent making up the difference between that small child and their best effort in creating this beauty, and how when we partner with Christ, how beautiful it is.
Beautiful. I want to add something to that. This is a new concept that I've becoming more clear on over this past week about what my part is and what God's part is. And in the past, I always, and a lot of my clients and people that I talk to feel like they have to do all of that they can. I'll do everything I can, and then I'll let Christ make up the difference. But the concept that I'm really playing with this last week that feels so much more true is that instead of me choosing what the masterpiece is supposed to look like, and I'm just like doing my little child drawing and then giving it to Christ to finish my version of what the masterpiece looks like, that using your example, Tyree, with the child and the parent, that the parent would come to the child and say, I have this masterpiece I want to create. So this would be like God coming to me and saying, I have this masterpiece that I want to create, and I need you to help me begin it. And if that parent went to the child and said, I have a masterpiece, I know that there's a masterpiece that needs to be created, but I need you to help me begin it, then it's like a co-creation rather than it's my creation and then I'm turning to God to help him finish my creation. It's more, God knows that there's something really, really awesome that can be created. And he also knows that that I have the power to begin it, and that he can finish it, like you were saying, like the parent does. It's just a slightly different perspective.
I love it.
Thank you. Thanks for opening that up so I could share those thoughts. Robert.
Yes. So when you said the word, the way, what came up for me was the way is vast, but the pathway to Christ is narrow.
The way is vast, V-A-S-T.
Yeah, using the word the way, to me, the way back to Christ is vast.
Mm-hmm.
but the pathway to Christ is narrow.
Awesome.
There are many
Awesome.
options
Yeah.
back to Christ.
That vastness really gives a lot of freedom on how, I know every single person has their own way back to Christ, but eventually
Yes.
there is a narrow path that leads to him. So there's lots of different ways
Yes.
to get there. And as
Lots.
then it becomes more narrow.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Robert.
You're welcome.
Who else?
I'll share real quick.
Thanks,
The first thought that came up for me was I remember reading about Maya Angelou and how as a young girl she was in trouble for saying "by the way" because the way is Christ, and her granny let her know that it was not okay to say that, to take his name in vain in that way. And I thought that was really interesting, that it really sent a message. He is the way.
It'd be like you could say by God or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that was, yeah, she got in trouble for saying that.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
As taking Christ's name in vain.
Yeah, there's so many different connotations to words, and as we have, progressed in civilization, people bring in indoctrinated meanings. They bring in personal meanings, connotations of words, and Christ is the way. And that's interesting because when we say "by the way," usually it's like as an afterthought, which totally doesn't fit if we use that connotation that this child's grandmother used. Thank you. Just a new, I've been, really thinking about words and the way that we use them and what the true meaning is, and all of that over these last few weeks, as well as I've done a study of charity. Thank you. Any last thoughts before we shift over to our permission process? All right, let's go ahead and just take a deep breath and just kind of take in all that has been opened up today, all the different perspectives that have been shared, the new understanding, new learning, new wisdom that has been brought to light. Take one more deep breath. And I invite you to visualize yourself on the way, on the path, on that vast road that leads to Christ. And just allow yourself to be wherever you are, knowing that every single one of us has our own individual pathway back to Christ, and all roads do lead to Christ if we choose to face towards him. God can take us anywhere from anywhere. So no matter where we're at, we can end up on that straight and narrow path, as Robert has mentioned. And so just allow yourself to be wherever you are. And just be aware right now of maybe even draw a picture of yourself on a pathway, however vast that pathway is. And with that picture of yourself, allow yourself to envision almost from an outsider's perspective what it looks like to be you on this path. If there are burdens that you're carrying, if there are things tied to your feet, weights tied to your feet, or if you are completely free and able to walk freely without any encumbrance. Maybe even draw a picture of the path. Is there a lot of debris in the path that you're having to walk over? A lot of clutter and limiting beliefs or decisions about how you have to have control about things, or whatever it is, just envision yourself from a third party perspective to see what it's like to be on this path, and see yourself for the first time outside of yourself, and just allow yourself to be there and draw a picture or write things that represent what it looks like to be you right now on your path, on the way. And now that you are becoming more clear with what it is like to be you on the way, I invite you to make some choices about what you would like it to look like. Just maybe with your pen, scribble out or add some things, or change the size of the way, or whatever it is that you need to do to create a different scenario, something that would give you just a really good perspective of what you would choose if you had the ability to create this, your experience on the way. What would it look like? And this time, as you're envisioning, I invite you to be that person that you've just drawn as the person and the way that you would choose it. Allow yourself to step away from, just shed that old person and step into the new person that you are on this new way that you have drawn for yourself, and feel the difference. Step into it as a first person now, not third party observer, but actually being the person that is stepping into this new version of you on your way, on the way. And what is that experience? What are you feeling? What are you noticing? And listen for limiting beliefs or thoughts about leaving that old person behind, stepping over and getting beyond all the clutter, stepping onto a new path, whatever it is. What are the limiting beliefs about what you're leaving behind? And if you honor these limiting beliefs, if these limiting beliefs become more important to you than this new way, this new person that you are becoming on this new way, what is the cost? What is the outcome? What will be the consequence of holding on to those limiting beliefs? What will be the consequence to this new way that you're choosing into? And now that you're becoming aware of what those limiting beliefs are doing, how they are encumbering your way, you have a choice. You can hold on to those limiting beliefs, and you can keep walking along your way with these limiting beliefs burdening you, or you can give yourself permission right now to choose to let go of those limiting beliefs and to step completely away from them. As Gary said, drop it, leave it, let it go, and to choose in something different. And if you're ready to do that, to drop it, leave it, let it go, and to choose into something different, say yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So what are the new beliefs? What are some new beliefs that will really empower you on this new path, will allow you to let go of those old limiting beliefs and to step beyond it, to step fully into this person that you would like to become, and walking the way that would be so much easier? What are the new beliefs that are going to empower you to be able to do that? Choose 2 or 3 new beliefs to take the place of that old limiting belief. And now that you have got these new beliefs, I invite you to, again, feeling yourself in the first person, bringing those new beliefs in and allowing them to fill you up so that you can become this person that is able to walk the path and walk the way easily, comfortably, and that this is what you choose. And then pan out, almost like you put like a camera on one of those I can't even think what they're called, those cameras that you can fly around and take pictures from above or all the way around, 360 view. And what does it look like now? Draw any additional changes to this second picture that you drew, and allow yourself to feel, and maybe even stand up a little taller, sit up a little taller, feel the confidence that these new beliefs are giving to you. And then any new understanding that you're gaining as you're seeing yourself from this 360 view, up above, out to the side, all the way around, and seeing what that path and what it looks like for you being on the way right now. And then final question, what is the one most important thing that you could do today to assure that you stay on this path and that you leave those old limiting beliefs behind and you embrace these new beliefs? What is the one most important thing? What's your inspired shortcut, literally the inspired shortcut to walking this path so much faster and arriving at your destination so much more easily and perfectly? In a moment, I'm going to open it up for some shares. We have time for maybe 2 or 3 shares. And while you're kind of gathering your thoughts, I just want to extend an invitation to any of you, if you're experiencing anything negative during this this meditation, or if you're just feeling like you need some extra support to stay on your way, on that way, and to really fully step into this new person that you're wanting to become. I would love to have a conversation with you. Just a 15-minute call. You can go to askwylene.com. That will take you directly to my calendar, and you can schedule a 15-minute call with me, a free mentoring session, askwylene.com. Who has something they would like to share about their experience today?
Something that I have never realized consciously was my limiting belief, came up in my limiting belief that if it isn't hard, I'm not getting strong enough. And so I am definitely ready to let that go.
Perfect.
And a couple of my new beliefs is that my strength comes from Christ. I am naturally strong, stable, and vibrant.
Wow. I think we can all embrace that idea that our strength comes from Christ, not from doing hard things. Oh my gosh. I know that's a empowering belief for a lot of people. I can do hard things. And I just think, oh my word, that you're just totally inviting the universe to bring you hard things. Thank you for giving us some alternatives. Who else?
So I had a really fun visual that came into my mind. So I have this picture of Christ on my vision board that I keep up there all the time, right in the middle. And it's, some of you may have seen it. It's of him helping a little girl. They're on a river, and it's him helping a little girl climb up on a rock. And the last couple of days, I've been seeing myself farther down the river with Christ. And as we just did this meditation, I saw myself dancing, like twirling on top of the rocks, going down this river, and just feeling the lightness and the ease of how I was moving was just so joyful and freeing. And it was just a really fun visual.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you. Tammy, would you post that picture on the Breakthrough with Gratitude group?
Yeah.
Thank you. And Tyree, if you wouldn't mind, if you can find that video that you were talking about with the master, with the artist and the child, that would be great. If you could post that on the Facebook group as well. I think that would be
Sure.
really powerful. Thank you. I love that these words that you guys are sharing, like naturally strong, lightness, ease, freeing, joyful. This is Christ. This is the way that Christ and our Heavenly Father created this earth for us to experience it. Can you imagine if he had planted Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and said, okay, guys, it's going to be hard and you're going to have to do it all yourselves because you're the only two people on the whole earth. So go have fun, get strong doing hard things. I mean, that just seems like the most ridiculous thing. When he put man on the earth was spontaneously just growing and it watered itself and everything. And granted, the earth fell when Adam partook of the fruit, when Adam and Eve partook of the fruit and they were cast out of the garden. But it was the natural way that God intended for the world to be easy and to reproduce itself and to replenish itself and to be abundant. And all these words, lightness, ease, freeing, joyful, naturally strong. I do believe that as we are on the way back to him and as we're stepping into that narrow path that leads to him, that we become closer back to that state of being that Adam and Eve were in the beginning, where we are walking and talking with God on a daily basis through your GPS process, through being here and having these visualizations and meditations on the gratitude call. Anytime you are connecting with Christ and with God, you're taking yourself back to Eden, to that state of being where everything is easy. And it's been my experience, and I have a testimony of this, that I'm a personal witness that when you walk with Christ, when you walk with God, and you follow those inspired shortcuts that you receive every day, the way is easy. I'm just a witness of that. Well, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you for all your comments. I wish we could continue. This is just an awesome discussion. I invite you to go to the Breakthrough with Gratitude Facebook group. Ask questions there if you need clarification on something. I'm happy, and I know those of you who are on here would be happy to interact and to continue this conversation there. And also post your celebration moments, your ahas, any of those things that you're getting on this call. We would love to share those with you. Thank you for being on our call today. I look forward to what we get to discover this week as we continue through this week doing our daily gratitude call every day. And I encourage you to continue joining us every day. And till then, have an awesome day. We'll talk to you again tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Time.
Thank you, Eileen.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.